So it sounds like the government has been working on this for decades. But why do you think it is that the United States government has decided to approach it with such extreme secrecy? Why did they think that was necessary, and how has that secrecy been maintained?
Well, this is speculation on my part, because we really don't have sources who have given us accounts of this. Certainly back at the beginning when it all started. But um, you know, if we date the era of UAP interest and activities on the part of the United States government to the to late 40s, you just have to think back. Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, the panic that ensued from that happened in 1938. That's like yesterday. If you go back to the late 40s and early 50s, it was not a distant memory. I think, in addition, you have to consider that the Manhattan Project, by the time we get to the late 40s, it was evident that the Soviet Union had in fact penetrated the Manhattan Project. Espionage activities had been successful. They had knowledge of the Manhattan Project before we ever lit off the bomb. So that had to have been a painful, searing lesson for the United States government about what it takes to really protect a really important matter. I also believe that certainly even more so than now, there was a presumption that disclosure of such a momentous discovery as this would have led to a kind of, you name it, demoralization of the population, a crisis of faith within the world's great religions. And at a time when the world was just recovering from the Great Depression, from this existential struggle with fascism and Nazism in the Second World War, and we were, of course, at the beginning of the Cold War, another long, drawn-out existential battle with totalitarianism. So, these are powerful motivations for the government to hush this up and protect it. I will also say that when the government establishes a special access program, something very important that they adopt extraordinary security measures to protect, they also they also really get serious about security. They mount vigorous counterintelligence efforts to protect it. They will resort to disinformation, compartmentation, and total denial. These are standard practices. And in addition, I've seen it firsthand over the course of my career that when the Department of Defense and the intelligence community create a special access program, part of the way that they protect that is that they will suppress, to the best they can, research and development by people who are not part of that special access program into the physics or the mechanics of whatever it is that they're trying to protect. And this extends even to research on what the Soviet Union or Russia might be doing, or what China might be doing. This is part of the approach to protecting the phenomenon. So another concern that might be animating this is that what if it should turn out at the end of the day that the basic physics involved in UAP, the magical propulsion, the speed, the instant acceleration, the G forces they withstand, and so on. What if it is not that hard to understand or exploit? I recognize that this is a real stretch because we're all amazed by the sophistication and advanced nature of these craft. But what if once you know it, that it's not that hard to understand? And what if it should turn out that these same technologies, these same scientific breakthroughs, can enable weapons of war that have horrible implications? And what if the calculation is that, you know what? Um, Dictators like Kim Jong-un, if they understood the physics behind this, could create weapons of mass destruction. Um, this could even be an explanation, in my view, for why, even if the government has made significant strides in developing this technology or replicating this technology, that has probably clear economic benefits for the aerospace industry and telecommunications and the like, that they might have felt like, well, it's too risky. It's too risky to disclose this. So that's the litany of explanations that I can come up with to account for the government's determined secrecy about this issue.